special responsibilities set upon his or her shoulders. The head has to set an example. The head has to provide leadership, guidance, knowledge, wisdom. The head has to perform and carry himself or herself in such a way, such a manner, wherein the family should take notice and be like the head. You know one thing, I have 3 adult daughters, 2 of whom are with us today. One is in South Carolina working. My husband's taking care of many of our patients. And I thank my family. I have 2 grandsons. I love my family, yes I do. And you know one thing, woo! My father has, well, both my parents are deceased now, but I have an old, yellow, tattered NAACP card dated 1961 in my wallet right now.
All right.
1961, you know one thing, I was in the 4th grade and my father, F.M. Chapman's name is on it. It's old, it's grayed, it's folded and curled at the edges, and I carry that as if it is gold. Why? Because the head of our family led in such a way to show that you must treat everybody right, no matter what, no matter where, no matter when. And so I come to this day and time having the honor and privilege of introducing the head of our family, Ben Targellis, the head of our family. He is a man that speaks, he talks the talk, he walks the walk. He means what he says, and he says what he means. He's not afraid. There is no fear in him. He is an honest man. He is a decent man. He is a man of high character and moral bearing. He is a family man. Did you all realize that the Jealous family has a new member? Yeah. A wonderful baby added to the family. So we are so happy, proud, and honored to have a man of such stature lead us and guide us. God is with this man. The Bible says that many are called, but few are chosen. He's our chosen one. He's our chosen one. And you know one thing, yo, let me tell y'all this. We have another chosen one, Barack Hussein Obama. He is the one. And so as I leave here today, as the folk in the marriage ceremonies always say, Mr. Ben Jealous, speak now or forever hold your peace. Mr. Ben Jealous!
Blessings of being in this job is getting to travel this country and meet some of the greatest people in it. And when I met Dr. Brenda Williams, so moved. She is a medical doctor in rural South Carolina, and she and her husband who's also a doctor, they just moved back to their community, but they fight for the people of their community. They have spent hundreds of their hours and thousands of their dollars hiring lawyers to help their medical patients get the voter IDs they need, just in case, we know this won't happen, but just in case Governor Haley has her way in the Supreme Court. But that ain't gonna happen. And so if anybody is asking you if we are running voter ID drives across, say, yes, we are. Yes, we are, even in rural South Carolina. Well, my name is Benjamin Todd Jealous. I'm the proud dad of a new baby boy. Born on the 4th of July. Jackson Everson Todd Jealous. In case any of y'all are wondering, yes, Jackson is a family name. Morgan actually named him. She's quite proud of that. And like his sister Morgan, thanks to Mama Duke, she's proud to be part of the greatest nonviolent army for freedom and justice the world has ever known. Thank you, Chairman Brock, Vice Chair Russell, and the entire NAACP Board of Directors for all you do to steward this great organization. Thank you, Chairman Duffy, Vice Chair Maxwell, and the entire SCF Board of Trustees for all you do to resource the fight. Front lines, leading battles. Governors in states like Michigan. There is no battle more important or urgent to the NAACP right now than the battle to preserve our democracy itself. Let me be very clear. Our right to vote is the right upon which our ability to defend every other right is leveraged. And while you might count yourself as an education person, or a health person, or a criminal justice person, or an economic development person, you can be all of those, but you won't win on any of those if we let our votes go. Today I would like to give special acknowledgement to our activists in Florida, to our voting rights workers and our voter registration volunteers in Florida, who risked exorbitant fines, threats of jail time for registering people to vote. Indeed, as far as we can tell, who are the only representatives of any major national organization who kept on registering people to vote in the face of those threats. There's a voter registration in the country. People ask me why the NAACP just won't back down when stakes get high, states like Florida or Georgia or so many other places. And I tell them that we act differently because we is different. We have endured the martyrdom of more of our leaders than any other civic organization in this country, and when you take out political parties like the ANC, possibly in the world. We know their names. Indeed, many of us knew them personally, loved them, were led by them, and we honor their memory by not just seeking to emulate their courage in our lives, but in continuing to defend and extend the very democracy they gave their lives for. Many didn't find it coincidental that in the midst of this latest assault on voting rights in Florida, we found ourselves marking the 60th anniversary of the assassination of Harry and Harriet Moore. Christmas Eve, when white supremacists packed dynamite to the roof of the floorboards under their bedroom and blew them up. In the midst of a massive voter registration drive and the investigation of a lynching. We call it the Sunshine State. Mark the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Medgar Evers in Jackson. If you're wondering where the Jackson came from, Jackson, Mississippi, as well as the murders of 4 little girls when white supremacists blew up the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. Little Miss Addie Mae Collins, Cynthia Wesley, Carol Robertson, and Denise McNair. This year, we carried pictures of these martyrs and others in marches to the North Carolina State Capitol, where voting rights were under attack, to the South Carolina State Capitol, where voting rights were under attack, to the Alabama State Capitol in Montgomery, and even, and Brenda Williams was there, even the UN itself. Because we are committed to defending the freedoms they died seeking to secure for future generations, and we are also committed to ensuring that future generations know who exactly died for their rights, what their names were. I mentioned the special role that we play in defending our democracy and the martyrs who we remember for the sacrifices made in that struggle for 3 reasons. 1, we are living through the greatest wave of legislative assaults on the right to vote in more than a century. In 2011 and 2012, we saw more states pass more laws pushing more voters out of the ballot box than in any legislative cycle in more than a century. Second, I mention it because we must understand what those who are attacking our rights understand. Our voting rights are the right upon which our ability to defend all of our other rights is leveraged. And if you let someone diminish the power of your vote, you will have already lost a battle that you will wake up one day to feeling like was more important than that voting rights battle, and realize in that instance that you lost that battle that you really cared about when you lost the voting rights battle. Voters in Mississippi, voters who turned out and stood with us to make sure that birth control wasn't outlawed by the passing of the so-called personhood bill, and then turned around and voted against us, passing a voter ID measure, will figure out one day that we should have stuck together on both.